Hello and welcome to this presentation. This is the final presentation for the South Orange County Community College District External Scan Project. My name is Dan Rosenberg, and along with my colleague Julie Slark from the College Brain Trust, we're happy to present this final report. The project had three main components: the demographic analysis of the college's service areas and the districts, an enrollment trend analysis and forecast, and a labor market analysis for the area. We'll start with the demographic analysis. We started by looking at the college's student body and where they came from, their zip code of origin. This is the only analysis we did regarding students at the college. More analysis of those students would be included in an internal environmental scan. What we did was plot the zip codes, and these are all the zip codes with at least 100 students attending each of these colleges, red indicating more students, green indicating fewer students. And what we found was most of the students, close to 80%, from each college come from within the district boundaries and the college's division of that district. So we took that information to help define what the service areas are for the colleges. Now, the colleges obviously have a legal service area, which is shown on the left. This is a chart from a board resolution, Board of Trustees, which shows the legal boundaries of the entire South Orange County Community College District, but also delineates the division between the two. Obviously, students are going to go to either college depending on convenience, class schedules, etc. But these are sort of the legal boundaries of the two colleges' individual districts. On the right, they're shown on a GIS map, a geographic map here, and these are the areas that were used for the demographic analysis. So looking at the population living within these boundaries. We looked at many characteristics of the population. Population growth is one of them. Though the purpose is not to compare the two colleges together, it does shed light on what's happening within the district to look at them both. And here you can see the population in the Irvine Valley College service area is growing at almost twice the rate of the population in the Saddleback area. And you can see, for comparison purpose, the district, the county, the state, and the nation. Likewise, for income distribution, we have all those different areas shown for comparison. Interesting that the Saddleback College service area has a significantly higher income level than that of IVC, and the red line shows where it's forecasted to grow to in the year 2020. The plan itself shows a lot more information than this, but for the purpose of this presentation, we just wanted to give you a taste of what's included in the plan. Age. The Saddleback College service area averaging over 40 years of age. The Irvine Valley College service area about 30, almost 36. Seems like a small difference, only 5.6 years, but this is actually 4.6 years. This is actually a very significant difference between these two areas. In the plan itself, there's a much more detailed breakdown of each age segment within the service areas and how they're forecast to grow. Language spoken at home, quite a substantial population within the district of people who do speak only English at home, but many people who speak another language at home, indicating that there is a significant need in the community for English as a second language and other services. There's some other demographic metrics discussed in the plan, including race, ethnicity, enrollments in K-12, different grades, educational attainment of the population, proposed housing developments. We actually spoke to some of the people in the planning departments to research what planning has been going on for future housing developments and how that might affect population. And we looked at high school graduations rates and forecast for that, which would help inform the enrollment growth projections. Now we'll look at the enrollment projection part of the plan. To forecast future enrollment growth at the colleges, we used 3 different methods. All 3 took advantage of data called a participation rate. This is the number of students attending the college divided by the number of adults in the population. And then it's multiplied by 1,000. So it's per 1,000 adult residents, how many students are there. And the population, we used average participation rate. We used a second method, which is the maximum participation rate. That was over the last 3 fall semesters. And participation rate by age segment. And of course, looking at age segments that are most likely to attend college. So these are some of the results. We used a 5-year average to forecast future enrollment. We used a 3-year maximum as a second method, and in the third item is the age rate categories. There's detailed discussion and analysis of these methods in the plan. What's important to keep in mind, however, whenever you're forecasting enrollments at a California community college, is that enrollments are largely determined by state funding and the enrollment caps that are put on by the Chancellor's office. So the legislature has a bigger impact on enrollments than probably anything else. So important to keep that in mind when looking at this information. The third and probably the largest section of this plan is the labor market analysis. The goals here were to identify what we call target occupations. These are high wage, high growth occupations with lots of opportunity for students. Identify some feeder programs that could feed those occupations. Compare what programs are offered within the district with the target jobs. So to find out what are the gaps and opportunities between the two. We used many tools and sources of data and information for this analysis. MZ is the leading provider of labor market data and programmatic data. They basically create a database that cross-references all of these sources. So governmental Department of Labor, as well as the Department of Education, and also some private sources. We also utilized reports from the Orange County Workforce Investment Board and the Orange County Business Council. And all of the sources were referenced in the plan for each data item and section so that people will be aware of where the information came from. We looked at Orange County employment first. The left chart shows employment by industry with a forecast. So the dark orange bars are 2012, the lighter orange bars are 2020. The highest numbers of employees are within professional, scientific, and technical services, followed by retail trade, healthcare, etc. And on the right is some information about industry clusters. And these are just defined as groups of businesses that happen to be located in Orange County. When you shop for a car and you go to the auto dealer, there's usually a whole bunch of auto dealers in the same area as sort of a cluster. Well, this happens with many industries, and these are the top clusters in Orange County: analytical instruments, sporting, recreational, and children's goods, biomedical, etc. And the location quotient is a measure of how does the concentration of these companies in these industries in Orange County compare with the rest of the nation. A location quotient of 1 means it's about the same percentage or same density. So a 3.1 location quotient indicates a triple the density of analytical instrument companies in Orange County than the nation as a whole. Here we have some unemployment data. Orange County unemployment rates on the left in orange, much lower than the other counties shown and the state of California. And on the right is unemployment by industry. So the orange bars for Orange County, the highest percentage of unemployed, the highest rate of unemployment is in manufacturing. Next, admin and support and waste management. You can see that chart, and more analysis of these things is provided in the plan. We looked at the commuting patterns. On the top, we see Orange County residents. On the bottom, we see Orange County workers or employees. And 84% of the residents of Orange County work within the county. And then you can see 13% commute to Los Angeles County, etc. And the reverse is true, is fairly consistent. 79% of the people who work in Orange County live in Orange County. So really, we don't see a tremendous amount of commuting, but it's substantial. I mean, it's a substantial number of people. The target occupations. This is a list of occupations that were created looking at 3 principal criteria. These included wages, the number of annual openings in a particular occupation, and the required education level for that occupation. The labor market data comes with a few caveats and considerations. The information is not perfect, but it is revised frequently and considered quite accurate. It's drawn from surveys with employers. The wages, of course, vary within an occupation. So when an occupation is listed with a median wage of, say, $18, that may be an occupation where people start at $15 or $13, but it progresses up to, say, $25 an hour. So just because the median wage is low does not indicate necessarily that everyone in that occupation is earning such a low wage, and the converse is also true. For each occupation, an education level is indicated. So for this particular occupation or that particular occupation, it may say associate degree. But there may be people in that occupation who don't hold an AA, and there may be people who are in that occupation who hold a bachelor's degree or higher. In fact, in the current economy, there are many people holding jobs for which 10 years ago they would have been grossly overqualified for. Keep in mind that economic conditions can change at any time. Remember the last few years as an example of that. So the forecasts for growth or reductions in a particular occupation, this may change. And most importantly, I think, the data and analysis is really to guide the discussions at the college and within the district. It's not meant to be a set of data that is black and white and makes the decision for you. And consultation with industry advisors is essential. This is very, very important. They know the economy and the state of the industry better than any data gatherer. They're out there every day. So at the beginning of the project, we set out to determine the criteria for the target occupations. First off, we are including any occupation within Orange County. That was determined to be the area of interest. A wage of $20 an hour was selected as a threshold. There's some information in the plan on the living wage for Orange County, and it's a little higher than $20. But for a graduate coming out of a 2-year program, it was felt that that was where we should set the threshold. Annual openings greater than or equal to 50. So there may be some good occupations out there that have only 2 openings a year. We did not include those in this target occupation list. and then education level less than or equal to an associate degree. So lower education levels would include, of course, a high school degree, also a category called some college no degree, and also any other like certificates or things like that. The list came to 56 occupations. 56 occupations in Orange County met the criteria that I just reviewed. And this is just a subset of them to show you what kind of information is provided. So, for example, we can look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth one down, claims adjusters, examiners, and investigators. Shows you the number of jobs currently, number of jobs forecast in 2020, the annual openings, 125 annual openings in that field, and the median wage of $28.40 an hour, and the education levels long-term on-the-job training. So this is provided for each occupation. I'm going to talk about it later, but I want to encourage faculty members, deans, administrators to utilize the district's license to MZ. This is the database where this information comes from. And one can drill down to individual occupations and see the percentile earnings. So you can see where the first 10% of the workers are earning, the next percentile. So you can get more information than is provided in this report. But this gives a good start for those discussions and those further analyses. The openings to completions gap is the difference between the forecasted annual openings in an occupation and the number of completions in programs that are linked to that occupation. So for example, the first one, property, real estate, and community association managers. Through the data, there is a linked, or more than one linked, programs that are offered by colleges that lead to that occupation. In Orange County, last year, there were 21 completions in those programs. There are 918 annual openings forecast for that. So there's a difference of 897. A positive number is good. It indicates there are more openings than there are completions. In other words, there's a need for more trained individuals. Now, those individuals may get on-the-job training. They may find their way into this occupation from a different path than just an educational program at an institution of higher learning. But again, this points out something that warrants further analysis and a further look. Next, we looked at the surrounding counties around Orange County. We looked at Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Diego. We saw earlier that a significant portion, approximately 16% of the population, does commute. And with the economy the way it is now, more and more young people are willing to travel for work. So same data is provided as in the previous section. And this target occupation list consisted of 178 occupations that met the target criteria. Other data we looked at included telecommuting and traveling occupations like truck drivers and other kinds of occupations that can be done from home, possible ladder occupations that might lead to an education in community college that might lead to a bachelor's degree and a job that would come later, and also a discussion of the state chancellor's office program Doing What Matters for the Economy. As mentioned before, there's a linkage between educational programs and occupations, and this is done via a crosswalk. It's done utilizing information from IPED's data from schools across the country and from the Bureau of Labor Statistics regarding the occupations. And this crosswalk is how that is done. It's important to understand that many occupations jobs can be obtained from several different educational paths, and likewise, a given educational path may lead to multiple occupations. So what we see here is, after applying the crosswalk, these are the target occupations. So on the left we see the occupation list, the 56 occupations in Orange County that met the target criteria. And on the right we see the zip codes that are for the programs that lead to that occupation. This is just a subset of the entire list that's provided in the plan. So from that, and from the analysis of all the data that went before, with the openings, the completions, and the level of wages and education level, we created a list of programs that should be considered for possible expansion or addition. And this is just a subset of the 78 occupations, 78 programs that were on that list. And this should be an impetus for discussions and further analysis by faculty and deans and advisory groups to really see where the college is going to go in the future, especially relative to CTE programs. Also included in the analysis were the low unit certificates and occupational skills awards offered. These are lower unit certificates that would not show up as completions in the IPEDS data. And there's more analysis of the over or under supply of completions for each given occupation. So now I'd like to go over some of the conclusions that came out of the planning process. One is that age is a critical factor for growth and for future programs in the district. In the IVC service area, there will be some growth, small amount of growth, in the 19 to 24-year-old range or in the high school age range. At Saddleback, in their service area, it'll actually decrease. And this is going to have an effect on enrollments for at least the next 7 years or so. After that, the baby boomers' children's children, the grandchildren of the baby boomers, will be coming up to high school and then college age. So there should be another uptick after 2020. But in the meantime, the district should look at ways to serve the population age segments that are growing, and just adjust things accordingly to serve the community. Next, the colleges and the district should continue to address special population needs. These include non-English speakers, students that are not prepared for college, etc. And all of the variables related to enrollment growth need to be considered. And these include many different aspects in the population. Next is all the programs should be involved with managing enrollment. Every faculty member, every staff member, all the different programs need to be involved in looking at how their program is going to adjust to the changing demographics and how it's going to help fulfill the mission and the strategy of both institutions. A necessary next step is to conduct a comprehensive internal scan. This is an in-depth analysis of who the students are, where they're coming from, what their needs are. And lastly, I'll mention is to use the labor market data in all the strategic planning and program reviews going forward. So the colleges and the district have access to MZ, this wonderful tool for analyzing and studying trends in the labor market. And everyone should be encouraged to use it in their planning, and it should be a comprehensive part of what they do. Now, Saddleback College is already using MZ in their program reviews, and this is a great trend. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this presentation. On behalf of the College Brain Trust, we want to thank the district for the opportunity to do this work, and we hope you will all take advantage of the external scan and use it as you move forward into your strategic planning and other planning activities. Thank you.